Hi, it's Johnny from Speedy Brick, and carrying on with the theme of fixing and improving Speed Champion sets. Today I'm going to be looking at the Ford Mustang Dark Horse, so 76920. It's quite a cool little car, but the proportions are way out. So let's first have a look and see what I think's wrong with the car, and then we'll see what I've done to improve it. So as you can see, the design is really quite nice. I think the shape is quite good, but it's just sadly way too short. And if we try and match this to the 27th scale, like the other 8-wide Speed Champions that I've been building and modifying and or fixing, the car should actually be 23 millimeters long and about 8 millimeters taller. So you can see there's quite a big gap there. And interestingly, it's very similar shape to the BMW M4 GT3, but just a little bit taller. So the width, we can't really do anything about that, and that's pretty well okay. But the scale on the length and the height are just way out. So if we look to kind of what needs to be done, it's really effectively stretching the car out. And I've just pulled the image out here to kind of demonstrate. So actually we need to add 3 studs to the total length. So 2 studs at the front, kind of lengthening that front end with 1 stud in front of the wheels and 1 behind. And then I want to also lengthen the roof and to kind of bring this windscreen forward. So if you notice in the picture above, there is, the mirror is kind of further back from the windscreen. So I want to replicate that. So I'm going to leave the mirror kind of where it is about here and move the windscreen forward. And that means I've also got to lengthen the roof. I want to retain this kind of same design here. I think that's good, but I think we need to raise it up at least 1 plate, maybe 2, just bring that whole top end up 1 or 2 plates. Just have to see how we get on with that. And I also want to lengthen the rear here because this is all just too small. So let's see how we get on. So this is the end result. And so what have I done? I've added a stud length here. So we've got, in front of the wheels, we've got 1 stud length. And that was quite a lot of reconstruction underneath here to add that length. And I've taken the whole thing apart and effectively lengthened it by 2 for this whole length. So that's that whole plate there, plus that one to make it stronger. I've tried to retain this black line all the way through. So I'll talk about that as we go. But this construction is I didn't have any bricks in this color, so I've just used a bunch of 1x2 plates here so I could retain this light all the way through. It used to sit on top of this wheel arch. I just had to reconstruct that there. Again with the length, so I've added 1 here, but because of length, I've also moved the windscreen forward. I've added 2 at the front, but I've only had to add 1 here, and I've brought the windscreen forward by 1, and that gives us a better position for the mirror. That's kind of more accurate to the car itself. And inside, I've changed this. I've moved the seats forward by 1 plate, and I've changed the steering wheel. Other than that, that's kind of the only real change there. There's quite a lot of construction changes, but that's kind of the only real change. I wanted to get it taller, but I really struggled to change all of this and add in 1 plate in between, so I've not done that. So I've made the decision to only make it 1 plate taller and not 2 plates taller, the whole car. And I've added that plate at the back, so I've raised the windscreen up by 1 plate, and I've raised this whole area up by 1 plate. Because I've moved the windscreen forward by 1, I've added this row of tiles in here, and I've had to take the 1x1 dark trans or trans black from the other side, and I've used a 1x2 black, which is the only thing I had really that was suitable. I've moved this forward as by half a stud, and I've added here another stud. So this raising this up gave me the opportunity then to change this angle a little bit. So I added a stud here, and I've done that by swapping out the 1x2 brackets for 2x2 brackets, both up and down on both sides. And on the back here, I've added in one layer of plates here and one layer of plates here to give us that extra length, and that's enabled me to follow that through. And here I've added in a slope as well, just a curved slope, and that kept the rest of that the same effectively. So this line is part of the original car, and when I was moving all this back, I could just move this whole construction, just take it all apart and effectively move it back by one. So that was okay. So let me know, what do you guys think? Did I do a good job? Is it an improvement? It's probably a little bit too low, but I could raise the whole thing up by one, I guess. In the back here, that might make a difference. But let me know what you think. So that's the little Ford Mustang Dark Horse. I quite like the way it's turned out. I'm quite happy with it. Could have been a bit taller, but that's okay. It looks like a nice, sleek, big American sports car, right? And that's what it is, so it's what it should look like. It's very similar in profile to the BMW, but I wanted to make sure that it was different in between these two models. So the BMW's got a much sleeker front end, but also a little bit longer, which is what the car is actually in real life as well. So it's just a tiny bit longer, but when you put the wheels on there, it's like one stud longer because of the front splitter and this massive back wing, the massive back end. So it's just slightly longer, and I'm pretty happy with the way it's turned out. I look forward to hearing and seeing your comments, and until next time, bye.